We'll do that. All right. So this slideshow, if you notice, if you've seen the IHSA one before, um, there's a lot. I took out a lot of the like title slides, and a lot of the where it's like four slides telling you the same thing, but like one slide has one extra letter on it. So that's the kind of stuff I cut out. I didn't cut out any like important things or anything that you need to cover. Just there's some of the extra stuff that's coming out of it. Um, so field positions, kind of some of the basics here. So we're used to in two man A position, B position, C position. Um, with three man, we add the D position, which is behind the third base bag on the line. Saves just a mirrored version of the A position with nobody on base. You want to be behind the fielders when you're over there, and you don't need to sneak it because you're not going to have like you from the D position. You're either going to run into the infield or run into the outfield for fly ball coverage. So there's no reason to be shallow because you don't need to be there to make a call at first base or make a call at third base because there's no runners on base. So this is when. So these are the basic position. Well, these are just the basic positions. I guess we're getting ahead of myself a little bit. Um, Now, when you go to there's so in that's sorry. All right. So when you're in the B position now, there is shallow B and deep B. So shallow Bs are normal, however you want to you call it, kind of splitting the difference between the pitcher's mound and second base, on the edge of the dirt, line extended from the home plate. The B position, you can also now you in the deep B position, you're going to be back close to the grass dirt line, and then you're going to take your shoulders and you're going to line them up to be parallel with the base path or baseline. And so you're actually turning, um, so you're there, and so you can be closer to that play at second base. And there's no reason to be shallow because when you're deep B, there's not going to be a runner on first base, so you don't need to be shallow for the angle on the pickoff play. You can be deep because your main call is going to be at second base on a pickoff, or you just have to move to make the call at first base. So and C has that as well. What is going on? But it's not going to show it. So you can be in a deep C position as well. Um, which would be the same thing where your shoulders are parallel to the lot, the base path between second and third base, um, and deeper because when there's going to be a runner on first base, or you don't you can be in the deep C position because you don't have to call the pickoff at first base. So you can get a little depth on this and get a little deeper. And then as you move back, then you would, take your shoulders and square them to the line instead of square them to the home plate. But if you're in the shallow position, based on situations, we'll get through as we go through, you still want, if you're shallow or regular B or regular C position, you want your body squared up to home plate and not the baseline. So that's a difference on how you stand in those positions. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting some weird stuff with put this over here. So nobody on base. We have plate umpire, U1, U3. Um, so plate umpire, is a regular position. U1 is in behind first base. U3 in A. U3 is in the C position. You are going to be behind the fielders, so you're not in the way there, and then you're going to be able to move, based on your your requirements here. Come on, baby. So ground ball hit to the left side of the infield. This is where you're moving. So the plate umpire is going to move up the line, there for the swipe tag or pulled foot at first base. U3. This is ground ball on the first baseman. You're running in towards second base. You're gonna make the call. You're gonna take the rudder into second. batter runner into second if he goes there, and then ultimately take him into third base. U1 is moving to get into position to make a call at first base. Okay. Um, now fly balls. The 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 fly balls in this system with the runners on base umpires on the line, you are splitting the outfield. So anything from center fielder to right is the first base umpire. Anything from center fielder to left is the third base umpire. The IHSA requires you to go out on fly balls. Okay. So a fly ball, one that could, is anything that's up in the air, not line drives, not base hits, but any fly ball to the outfield. And there's that the umpire on that side of the field is on the line. They need to go out. And once you go out, you stay out. So there's gonna be a lot of times with all these mechanics where we are reverting back to two-man mechanics, right? So a lot of that's like you have to have you have to have an understanding of two-man before you can work three-man. That's why, because there's gonna be a lot of times when you're back and working two-man because you just lost an umpire to the outfield. Okay. Um, so here we have a fly ball in right center field. U1 goes out, U3 is coming in. Now we're in the situation where um we're in two man. So U3 is the base umpire, and you have um, batter runner first, second, and third base. Right. The one spot on this is that's different than in two man because of the because of the positioning of U3. If there's a base hit to the outfield and U1 goes out, the ball drops, and there's a throwback to first base. The plate umpire is going to cover that play. But but besides that, everything else, U3 has the runners all the way around. So that makes sense. Like if you have a ball hit to the outfield and there's a play at first base, or there's a the batter runner rounds first base, and now there's a throwback into first, the plate umpire is going to make that call. But besides that, U3 is taking the batter runner all the way around, and the plate umpire will uh, cover home. Now, if you have a fly ball from center field to the left field line, U3 is going to go out, and this is just regular two man mechanics. U1 comes in, takes batter runner all the way into third. Plate umpire, it takes the batter runner into home if it comes back around. So we're just normal two man mechanics on a base hit with nobody on. Um, so now nobody on base, and there's a ground ball or line drive hit to the outfield with no chance of a catch. So this is where you don't automatically go out just on every ball hit to the outfield, but only on fly balls. So this is a base hit to left field over the shortstop's head. You know, on this U3 is coming in, and you're taking the batter runner into second base. If he comes U1, you're staying at first base. You're watching the batter runner touch first, and then you have any plays that come back into first, and the batter runner goes to second. You're going to see the slide is going to come up. Sorry. Where U1, this dotted line up here, the IHSA mechanics PowerPoint doesn't have it, but we added it on this one. U1 can go up to help with a rundown situation. So it's kind of a play breaks down, that batter runner gets between second and third. Now U1 is gonna sneak up in there and help with the rundown if one happens. But the U1 has no responsibilities unless there's a rundown and they got to get back into the play. So on this play, U1 is going to stay. This base of the outfield, U1 is going to stay here. Plate umpire is going to stay home. U3 is taking batter runner into second base if he goes. All right. Okay, runner on first base. Okay, this is where you have some options, right? Um, U1 in this play, you're going to get a little more. You're going to get a little closer to first base, and get in a spot where you're standing in foul territory. but you're lining yourself up for a pickoff at first base. Be careful on this. If you watch MLB games, a lot of times the first base umpire is way off the line, and trying to really get a close look at this. You still have fair foul responsibilities. So what I try to do is I always put my foot right next to the foul line. Okay, don't give up the line, but get in a spot where you can see a potential tag on a pickoff play. Okay, um, U3 has some options on this. There's two options where they can line up either in deep B or in deep C. I highly recommend you work in the deep B position. So the reason why is your main call on this play, okay, where you're trying to get into position to see is the steal second base, right? The best position out of these two plays, these two spots to see the steal at second base is the DP position. Okay. The tag on that play is almost always a swipe tag. Okay. Or if it's a close play, it's going to be a swipe tag. Okay. You're going to have a good angle. It's just like the wedge plays at home plate where you're going to be on the second base or shortstop's glove side, looking down that glove at the tag. Okay. In the B position. If you're in deep C, you are going to be straight lined and you're in it's equivalent of being in a first base line extended on a plate to plate. So um I know it's not as exciting to be in the same position, similar positions you are in two man, but that is the better angle, is the better spot to be. You do have a preference, if you want to work deep C, that's fine, right? I think you're putting yourself in a spot where you're not seeing the play as well. So you have the option, but I highly recommend to be in the deep B position just because it's going to put you in a better spot for the play, um, for that steal play at second base.
Hey Al, there's a question about with no runners on base, who should be the quarterback? U1 or
Oh
U3?
yeah, good. So that's a pregame discussion, right? Um, Throughout the years, I've heard it go back either way, right? But you have to there has to be one of the two guys that you key on when there's a ball hit to center field. Okay, biggest thing on this is is really to wait, not to wait, but to read the play. Um, I worked a I jumped on and volunteered and worked a game, 3-man last week, with two guys that are another guy that was a state final guy, and another guy that's working his way. He just got Mike Russo got signed his got assigned his first super sectional just today. So trying to get those guys some work and so trying to it was a big game for the Nick 10. You decided who's going to be the conference champion, right? We had two times in that game where because the where the ball is hit, right? The initial ball looks like it's going to be right at the center fielder. Okay, if you don't read where the ball is going, and this happened, right? You read it and now it's tailing out to right center, and we have the third base umpire running out the outfield, and then we had the first base umpire who's not looking at the third base umpire running out in the outfield, right? So I'm not going to cover it tonight, but if you have both umpires in the outfield, okay, now you're reverting to one man mechanics, which is not a good thing when you have three umpires out there, right? So you got to decide who is you can call it the quarterback, or who you're reading off of is usually how I say it. Um, which umpire is the one that decides that's my ball, I'm going out, right? Or that's not my ball, I'm coming in. Again, it's jump back and forth throughout time, but I think it's better to have the third base umpire be the guy you read off of. Okay, if he go, so you have more time, you kind of have more time to get where you're supposed to be and make a decision on it. So you say that third base, you're going to read off the third base umpire. Okay. The first base umpire is not going in the outfield until you see where the third base umpire is going, unless it's obviously in right field, right? But if the third base umpire, give him a chance to read it. If they start coming into the infield, okay, then you're going out to the outfield. If that third base umpire goes to the outfield, then you're coming into the infield. So talk about in pregame. Either way doesn't matter, right? As long as you guys know what you're doing, so you don't end up with two guys in the out in the outfield or nobody out in the outfield, nobody's taking the ball, right? But you have a lot of time to get out to where you need to be. You don't have to get out there right away, okay? But make sure that you're on the same page with your other base umpire on who we're reading off of and who makes the decision on who's going out or not. And then make sure that you make so you, if you're unsure if it's ball towards center fielder, look at your partner, right? Look at the umpire across the field. If they're going out, then you go with, or then if they're going out, you go in. If they're going in, you go out. And the guy, if you say this one, U3 is the one that's making the decision. Don't half-ass the decision, right? Don't skim the edge out of the outfield. Don't take two steps to the outfield and then come in. Like if you're gonna go, just go. Be confident and go. Even if that ball is caught in right center field, at least you made a decision. You went out and just take your time on it and then be decisive. Don't be indecisive on it because that's going to put your crew in a bad spot. Okay. But yeah, so to answer the question, quarterback, it could be either guy. Just make sure you know who it is and how you're going to react on those plays. Okay. Yeah, Tim, if you watch the chat, I have it up, but I'm not paying attention as much to it. So just if there's other things in the chat, don't be afraid to unmute your microphone and ask a question either. Either way is fine. Okay. So I think I beat this to death enough already. So now we're in this position and we have a ground ball on the infield, right? We have runner on first. The responsibility on this play, okay, this is where we can actually see the force play slide rule. We have a guy dedicated to that. U3, all you're doing is safe out at second base, and you're getting in a spot where you can judge the force play slide rule, right? Judge the slide at second base. U1, you're getting in a position to make a call at first base, and then we're there. So we got a guy on either side of it. U3, you don't need to look at the plate at first base. Okay. This is another thing I've happened a lot, right? Where we're so used to calling both sides of that double play that we don't stay with that play at second, right? We have the ability to do that now where you three just you watch the slide, wait till it happens, okay? Then the throw goes, you stay, just look at that and make sure nothing happens at second base. Your partner's there for the play at first. Don't get in the habit of looking over there and then now you're going to miss something at second base. We got a chance to see it. Plate umpire has no responsibility on that play slide to second anymore, right? So you don't rule on that. Even if you thought you saw something and U3 didn't call it, that's all him. You have no responsibility on it. Plate umpire, you still can go up and help with the pulled foot or swipe tag on that play. So a lot more of the force play slide rules get called in the playoffs because we have a third umpire because we can see it and we're not all the way down by home plate on that play. Now in this position, we have a fly ball to the outfield. Okay, in right field, and the first base umpire is going out. He goes out. Now we're back to two bad with a runner on first. In two man, it's a rotation play. Okay, the rotations are the same in three man as they are in two man. So the signals you're giving are the same in this situation. Okay, we didn't talk about that, but we can. I'll get through this, and we'll kind of talk about what the signals are, as in three man. But on this one, you have a rotation. No matter if you had the rotations are the same situation. So on this, U1 goes out, U3, you have R1 in the second, release him in the third. Plate umpires going up to make that call at third base. And then the U3's got batter runner, pick up the batter runner, touching first and into second base, just like in two man. Um, just like in two man, make sure when you rotate up, okay, there's a difference in a two man rotation and a three man rotation when we have all so when we have all three guys rotating um, in three man, the plate umpire goes into different spots, right? In a two man rotation, you should be rotating up and staying in a foul territory as long as you can. Okay. And then if you need to make a call, move into fair territory, see an angle, then you would move there. Okay. In three man, the plate umpire can go in fair territory because he doesn't have to go back home to cover home. Okay. So two man, again, stay on the outside. And if you in this you lose an umpire, make sure you know where you're at because there's a chance you got to come back. If there's a chance you got to come back home on a play, you shouldn't be on the inside of the infield because now you're way out of position. You get away of a throw. You got no angle on the play at home. So don't get in on the inside of the infield unless all three guys are rotating. So on this play, stay on the outside. You're reading that plays are going to be play at third or not. If not, you're going to go back home, communicate with your partner, all that two man stuff that we do every day. Um, Signals on this play, runner on first. It's the same signals as two man. Okay, you're just giving the outs and you're giving that you the rotation, the point. When you're giving signals in three man, the guy that's so in two man, the guy initiating signals is the plate umpire. Okay, in three man, I like to do the whichever base umpires in the middle of the field, they initiate the signals. That way, so in this play, U3 plate umpire and U3 exchange signals, U3 U1 exchange signals, and go on. So there's no reason that the plate umpire is looking at the first base umpire to give signals. Like you don't have to, as long as the crew's all on the same page. So use the guy, whoever's in the middle, to communicate with both umpires. Although then the other umpires can just keep going because otherwise it takes longer. Your eyes are off the action. Can be a distraction. So I recommend doing that. Having the whoever's in the middle. Most of the time it's U3, sometimes U1. Be the sign relay person. Okay. Now fly balls on the other side of the field. On the left field side, now we're splitting that area on the fly ball. Okay. U3, it's called they used to call it the small wedge, or I'm not even sure what the exact term is, but on this we have a fly ball down the left field line from the left fielder to the line. The plate umpire has got that call. Okay. Then he is moving up to make the call on the fly ball. If that ball drops, now we have a rotation. Okay, so you can see where that's where the plate umpire jumps on the inside is in fair territory. If the ball dropped, U1 is going to rotate home, and taking R1 into the plate. If there that there's a play possible, U3 picks up the batter runner into second base. Um, on this, so the difference again between rotate two man rotation and three man rotation. In three man, you're rotating no matter if there's going to be a play or not. So on this play, fly ball in plate umpire's coverage area, that ball drops. The plate umpire is still going to go up there even if there's not going to be a play. You're not going to go back home and cover that play at home. U1's job is to be there, right? U1, your key to rotate and go home is when the batter runner is committed to second base and is going. There's not going to be another play around first base, and then you're going to get home and you're going to get in a spot where you're calling that play just like you're the plate umpire. So don't be late on it. Um, there's a lot of times like that's your one chance for glory, right? If as the first base umpire is make a play at the plate without all the gear on, and don't be late. Don't be late to the party. Make sure you get there. Plate umpire, and then if your plate umpire is hanging around home and not going, make sure you yell at him to go. Right? Say we're rotating, move up, get out of here. You know, whatever you need to say to get him to go. Make sure you rotate up. Um, get it's they trying to break down the instincts that we have with two man and getting into 3-man mode on this. So rotations happen and finish no matter what. In 3-man when all three umpires are rotating. Now fly balls that are in the wedge, I think is what it's called, or a small V. I think is that small V is what I was looking for. So left fielder to center fielder. Okay, U3 has that fly ball. Okay, you're not crossing the foul line. You're staying on the infield grass, just like a two bad. See the catch. And then no, if that ball drops, okay, then we have a rotation. U1 goes home. Plate umpire comes up, makes the call on the batter runner, going into third base. I didn't really cover it, but we can go back. So this fly ball. So if the ball is between the right fielder, okay, between the right fielder and the center fielder, okay, in the fly ball into that area out there, U1 still goes out. So don't as U3 in the middle, realize that you don't have that ball that's anything that's in right field. From the center fielder over, U1 has that. You can look at it, be a secondary set of eyes on it, but don't come up and make a call because that is not yours. Even though it's a normal area, you might even be closer to it than the first base umpire, but that's a first base umpire's call. So don't jump up and make a call on that play. Let your partner have it because that is in their coverage area. All right, so runner on second with less than 2 outs. This is the only situation where U1 is in the middle. Okay, is in the B position or in the DP position. Okay. Um, this is not the same as other mechanics from other states or the NCAA mechanics. So I know Jeff Solomon, I know this is going to be new to you. It's an IGSA thing. Hopefully this changes. It's kind of weird, but this is what we got to do. This is what you're going to evaluate it on. Guys that want to move through the system, you gotta follow, but got to play the game, do what you're supposed to do, right? Runner in second, less than 2 outs is the only time U1 is in the middle. You're in the DP position. U3 is in D. Plate umpires at home. Again, just saying the same thing. This is the only time that you're in the DP position. Um, U3 can move. So this is just saying U3, you're got to stay behind the field. It's like stay behind the fielder, but you also have to be in a spot if there's a steal at third that you can move up and get a look at that play.
Hey,
But
Alan.
yeah,
So you're saying runner on second only, less than 2 outs, or what about but not second and third?
not second and third. Yeah.
Okay.
So runner on second with 2 outs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was moving out, but yes, correct. That second and third, less than 2 outs is where the difference comes in.
Okay. So
Yeah,
second and third, 2 outs. U2 is U3 is inside then.
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. That's definitely different.
Yep. All right. So back this. So when we have runner on second, less than two or with 2 outs, that's when U1 goes back to A. U3 is in the regular C position, squared up to home plate, chest to home plate in a regular position because you have to be there to be able to see the steal third base. So don't get deep. In this, you're back in the regular C. U1 is over in A. This is the same as the NCAA mechanics, or the last time I saw the NCAA mechanics. It's been a while. They're moving over here because more likely plays at first base is the reasoning for this with 2 outs. And there's less chance of a steal third, with 2 outs than there are with less than two. Okay, so now we're back. Runner on second, less than 2 outs. Ground ball in the infield. U1 is moving. You're moving into the working area to make a play call at first base. U3 is getting closer to third base in case there is a play at third. now U1 and plate umpire are splitting the coverage in right field. Plate umpire's got right fielder to the right fielder to the line and foul territory. U1 in this situation, U1 is you're getting a position where you can pick up. You can see the tag from tag on R2 and then getting in position to take batter runner if that ball drops. Any ball in left field, center fielder to the left field line, U3 is going out. And then we're back to two-man. Runner just on second. There's no rotation. Plate umpire staying home. U1 is getting in a spot where, if there's a play at third or a possible play on the batter runner coming out, you're getting a spot where you can see that back in the working area. And then U1 has the small short V or the wedge here between right fielder, center fielder. Any fly ball there. But coverage wise, ball drops. U3 still got to call at third base. U1 picks up batter runner. Plate umpire staying home. Base hit to the outfield, same thing. Like you would say, U1 gets in the working area. U3 staying towards third base. So U1 is taking any call at first or second. U3 is taking any call at third base. Plate umpire is staying home. With 2 outs, runner on 2 outs and runner on seconds. Let's see. So this play, U3, I don't know why it has you pivot on this play. I don't know if that's right or not. Plate umpire, I don't know why it drives the exaggerated lines, but you plate umpire staying around home plate. U3 would have any play on R2 at third base, and then be there for a play on the batter runner going to second. You don't pivot on this play. I'm not sure why it's showing that. U1 is staying in the first base area. You can come in and help with a rundown. I think maybe that's why the line is there. But U3's got calls at second and third on any runner, including the batter runner. U1 is stay by first base unless you're going to move up and help with a rundown.
The only thing there, Alan, if you go back to that slide, that's how it has it on the bottom. It's suggesting if the batter runner reaches first, that U1 is taking him into second.
Yeah, and
That's not right.
it's not. I don't know. Maybe I'm just been doing it wrong all this time, but this is not. It's not what I was taught, or what we've always talked about. So, I'll go back and look and try to figure that out. But I don't think I'm not sure if that's right anymore. Or
I think that's it's going to be a slide on that, Alan.
yeah, I just don't. I don't think
scenario.
that's right. Yeah, I don't think that's right though. So we'll come. We'll come back to that. I don't think that's not a slide scenario. Just yeah. Okay. We'll just move on. So now fly balls again. U1 takes anything at right field. U3's got the small V. U1 is, and then again U1 help. See, this is where I think it should be this, but again I could be wrong on that. And then plate umpire's got the ball left field line or left fielder to the left field line. Runner second with 2 outs. Any base hit to the outfield. See, that's where this is where it's weird because now this is not. It's not saying this is a slide play. This is just to cover the back end of the. That's why I think that slide's a mistake. But so we have a base hit with 2 out. With 2 outs, we got U1 in A. Base hit to the outfield, and U1 is only coming up if there's going to be a rundown between second and third. U3 is taking the batter runner or is taking R2 into third and then batter runner into second. So that's why it's contradictory with this slide and the other one. So I don't know. I've always been taught that's not a. I've never been taught that's a slide, a potential slide play with a runner just on second base. So I'm gonna go with that. If you guys think I'm wrong and you want to do it, like that's fine. As long as you and your partner, you and your partners are on the same page with that one. All right, so runner just on third. We have U3 is back in the D position. U1 is in the A position. Um, U3 can't. You're kind of you're positioning yourself where the third baseman, um, where the third baseman is playing, right? So you don't need to get shallow if the third baseman is playing deep, right? And there's no chance of a pickoff. But if that third baseman is shallower, you kind of move with him, so you're there in case there is a pickoff at third base. If there's a ground ball in the infield, U3 you're going up to second base to cover any potential play on the batter runner if the ball gets away or somehow he ends up over there. U1 you're staying around first base to make a call there. Plate umpire you can help with the pulled foot or swipe tag. Um, And then again, U1 would go help with the rundown if there was something. But U3, you don't really need to hang around third base. You don't get stuck here, right? As soon as there's a ground ball in the infield, you're gonna go towards second base. And then if there happens to be a throwback to third base, you're still in a spot where you can turn and look at that play. So just be aware of the throws, where the throw is going. But you still need to get to second base in case there's a play there. Fly balls, U1 and U3 will split the fly balls, kind of like we talked about before. Um, on this play, if there's a fly ball to right field, the plate umpire is taking the tag on R3 at third base. U3 is moving in. You're um, giving up that tag to the plate umpire. Ball and then a ball left field. No, fly ball left field. U3 is going out. Plate umpire again. Then we're back to two man. And then the plate umpire has the tag at third base. U1 is coming in, taking the batter runner into second, and then any throwbacks into third. The first base umpire has that as well. On runner on third only, base hit to the outfield. U3 is going in. U1 is staying by first base and only moving in case there is a potential of a rundown. But U1 staying by first. U3's got the calls at second and third. Now runner on first and second. They're less than 2 outs. Well, first and second, the positioning is U3 is in the middle. In the regular C position again, chest to the home plate. This is a rotation play. If there's a fly ball to the outfield, the fly ball to the outfield that's caught, the plate umpire is going to rotate up, take the play into third base. U3 is going to take the batter runner into second on the tag, and U1 is going to rotate home. Ground ball in the infield. This is ground ball in the infield. U3 is going to have the plays at second and third. U1 is going to have the play at first base, and the plate umpire is just observing, staying up. We're not going to rotate if the ball stays on the infield, but it is a rotation play only on that fly ball to the outfield. It also is a slide play, but not if there's a ground ball on the infield. That's only if there's a base hit. Okay, so now we have a fly ball to the outfield in right field from center fielder to the right field line. It's not going to be a slide play on this one, right? And it's going to be just a 2-man rotation play. Okay. Fly ball, so U1 is going to go out. Okay. U3 has the touch and tag, has the tag up on R1 and R2. And the plate umpire is going to take R2 into third if he does tag and go. And then the plate umpire, the difference is the plate umpire is going to have to rotate back and get that plate just like our normal 2-man mechanics. U1, once he goes out, he is out for forever. Okay. Now the difference here is that when we have a fly ball down the left field line, okay, in left field, we're not going to have an umpire going out. So on this play, fly ball, left fielder to the left field line. If that ball is caught, plate umpire is going to rotate up to third base. U3 is going to take R1 into second. And U1 is going to rotate home on any potential play on either runner coming into home plate. So this is again, force the rotation on this. This is, but only if that ball is caught. Okay, so this is on a caught fly ball to left field. If the ball drops, it is not a rotation anymore. It is a slide play. So this is the first time we really talked about the slide, and we a little bit on the other slide, when we were trying to figure out if that was a right mechanic or not. U1 and U3 are going to make a signal. Okay, I've seen a difference. I just look at my partner and go like this, say, hey, we're sliding, right, and say that, hey, we're going to slide. So what that means, there's a base hit or base hit to the outfield or a fly ball that drops into the outfield. U1 is going to slide in, so you're going to come in and take the batter runner into second base. U3 is going to follow the R1 into second and slide and take that runner into third base. So it's ultimately you're trying to get one umpire with one runner with one umpire. So that's the premise behind it. So it doesn't really show it, I guess, on the slide. We can. We'll just, yeah, we can still talk about it. So if on a base hit or a fly ball that drops, that's when that situation comes in. We'll get more. It's on the next slide after this one. Now, if we have a fly ball in the short V, a small V in the outfield, it's U3's catch, right? But we do have a rotation on that play if the ball is caught. So plate umpire is going to move up to third. U1 is going to rotate home. And U3 is going to have the tag on R2, the catch, and then take the R1 into second base if he does advance. U1 will have the tag up at first base. All right, so now here we got ahead of myself here. So base hit, so first and second, base hit to the outfield. It's the slide play. So U3 is going to watch R1 into second and into third base. We'll have any plays on R2, but there likely won't be any on a base hit to the outfield on this play. Then U1, you're going to come inside, take batter. If the batter runner goes to second, you're going to follow him into second base to make that call. Plate umpire stays home.
Alan, you said that was just on an uncaught fly ball, right? Or a base hit?
Or a base hit, yeah.
So if it's caught, there's no slide rule?
Nope, it's a rotation then.
Okay.
So if it's caught, then you don't have a batter runner to deal with. So then you're rotating. So first and second, less than 2 outs is you have to make sure you know what happened, what's going on. So because it could be a rotation or it could be a slide depending on what happened, the status of the ball being caught or not. All right, first and third. This is another rotation situation. Just like first base, U3 will be in. This is where U3 doesn't have the option anymore on a play because you have multiple responsibilities on this. So U3 should be in the regular C position because there's a chance of a pickoff at third base. So you need to be in the regular position, chest to the home plate. And now on this play, you have a ground ball to the infield. U3 is watching the plate second, watching for the force play slide rule. U1 is staying by first base, making the call at home. Plate umpire is staying around home plate, trying not to get, probably not exaggerated like it is here. You want to stay towards home plate to watch that runner touch, but then help out at anything else that's on the field. Plate umpire again does not have any responsibility on the first place lateral at second. That is all U3 on this one. Okay, so we have a fly ball to right field, center field to the right field line. U1 is going out, and then now we're back to two-man mechanics. First and third is a rotation. So plate umpire will rotate up to third. If R1 is advancing and there's a potential play there. Again, this is the fly ball that drops in the outfield. So yeah, just back to regular two-man rotation on this. The plate umpire should rotate back home if R1 advances and there's going to be a play at the plate. Now we have a fly ball on the left field line. This is the plate umpire's catch, no catch. And we are, let's see. What is it saying? All right, I'm confused. First and third.
Looks like PU's on the line.
Yeah, it's saying this is not a rotation play.
PU's on the line for fair foul.
Yeah, but this is Hold on a second. Why is this not a rotation play?
It's not a rotation play on a fly ball to the left side of the infield with runners on first and third.
Yeah.
If it's the plate umpire's call in his area, he's got the catch, he has the tag up of third, R3 at third, and he has the play at home. Potential play at home if R3 advances.
Duh. Yeah.
This seems like, I know they say they're not using NCAA, but it's actually an NCAA mechanic.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I was confused. Okay, so but the ball drops though. This isn't saying a fly ball that's caught. This is saying a fly ball that drops. We should be rotating, right? Are they saying not? Because this. Okay, so we'll go by the book here. So on a no catch, we are not rotating on this play. Okay, we are, and it's not even a slide either. This is my PowerPoint. I just don't understand.
No, Alan, I think it does say a slide. If you look there, U1 watch batter runner touch first and take him into second if necessary.
Yeah. So this part shouldn't be here. So it's not for potential rundown. So yeah, so first and third, fly ball to the left field that drops. We're in a slide situation. So U3 takes R1 into third base. U1 takes batter runner into second. Plate umpire staying around home plate. Yeah, so that part shouldn't be there. I'll take that out. There we go. Let's see. Okay. So any fly ball to the left field side, it is a slide play instead of a rotation play. Plate umpire's got to stay home because of the potential for a tack up. Okay, thank you. Sorry, brain fart there for a second. All right, so now base hit to the outfield. This is the regular rotation play. Plate umpire is gonna move up. U1's gonna move home. U3 is taking plays at second base or back into first base. It talks about don't abandon too soon. Make sure that you know the batter runner is going to commit, and there's a potential play at home before you rotate in because there still could be a play back at first base. They want U1 to hang around there. So. All right, so runners on second and third. You are in U1 is in A, U3 is in C. In regular C position, not in deep C. And again, chest to home plate. This is second and third, no matter how many outs you're in this position. Ground ball in the infield, U1 is making the play at first base or getting in a position to make a call at first base. U3's got any call at second and third. And probably R3 is going to advance home on this play. Plate umpires stay home for any potential play. Don't get out in the infield so you're not in the way of a throw. This stays pretty similar throughout. Just so U1 goes out, you're back to 2-man. Plate umpires trying to line up a tag of R3, tagging and advancing home, and he's going to get back for the play. U3 is lining up R2 on tag and is taking the runner in the third if it's caught. And then any play in a batter runner, any play in the base is the U3 would have because we're back in 2-man.
Alan, this is Steve. I have a quick question just for clarification, if I may.
Yeah.
Would it be better that U1 stays out of the infield area when U3 is inside in case there is a rundown? You'd have one guy on the outside, so to speak, and U3 would be on the inside covering a rundown versus the button hook?
No. So you're saying, which one are you talking about? So I see what you're saying, but U1, so on a rundown between first and second, yes, right? It makes sense that U1 stays out there and sees it. But if you're coming in to run up the second to get help, you would need to run all the way out here to get on the other side of it. So if there's a rundown between second and third, you're going to end up having two guys on the inside.
And that's okay.
Yes, you're gonna need. It's just gonna be what it is, right?
You'll have U3 close to second base, and you'll have U1 floating between halfway point and back to first.
No, I mean if there's a rundown between second and third, U3 would be down here, closer to third. You'd split the line, just like you do with the plate umpire on those rundowns, right? So, all right. So, yeah. So you want to be, if you're going to go up and help the potential play with the runner between second and third, you want to be on the inside of the infield. You don't want to be hanging out here. If you have a rundown between first and second.
Correct. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. First and second. Yes. You don't want to be on the inside. You want to be on the outside if you can. But if this play is talking about if the batter runner is already at second base and there's a rundown between second and third, it's kind of where there. So this is actually a slide. This second and third fly ball down the left field line is actually a slide play. So U1 is going to take batter runner into second base. U3 is moving towards third with R2. U1 is saying that U1 should go up and cover second base on this play. So or cover batter runner. I can be prepared to take batter runner into second base. Plate umpire stays home. So it's that one. So one runner, one umpire scenario on this play. So on the fly ball down the left field line. Or in the left field side of the field. So fly ball in the wedge. U3's got the catch, no catch. Plate umpire staying home, watching the tag. U1's going to come up if that ball drops and take batter runner into second base. So you want to come on the inside. And if we have base hit to the outfield, it's the same thing. It doesn't. That's all deleted, but base hit to the outfield. U1 is going to take batter. It's another slide play, but U1 takes batter runner into second, and then U3 takes R2 into third base. Bases loaded. This is another slide play. but sorry, getting ahead of myself here. So bases loaded. We're in A and C. Ground ball in the infield. U1 is staying towards first base. You got the call at first base. U3's got second and third. Plate umpire is staying towards home. And if you have the force play slide rule, but U3 can watch, this slide rule at third or at second base. Making sure you get a good look at it, line yourself up for that. And U1 is just staying there. We're not rotating anywhere on this play. Bases loaded, fly ball left into the right field side. U1 is going out. U3's got everything else going on. Plate umpire is going to line up, see R3's tag coming home. We're just back in two-man mechanics here. U3 has tag on R2, R1, and then any plays that are on the bases. Plate umpire is going to have any plays at home plate. Fly ball in the left field line. Plate umpire's got the ball. He's got the tag of R3. If that ball drops, it is a slide play as well. U1 is going to go up, take batter runner into second. Otherwise, U3's got plays at second and third on R1 and R2. And then same coverage on fly ball between center fielder and left fielder. U3's got the catch, no catch. If the ball drops, then we have a slide play. U1 will go up. U1 is watching the tag on R1 at first base. But if that ball drops, batter runner, watch him touch first, and the U1 is going to slide up and take the batter runner into second base. Bases loaded, base at the outfield, it's a slide play as well. U1 will take batter runner to second. U3 takes R1 from first into third. Then, yeah. So now here we're getting into some of these. We have a hand raised. I have my own hand raised.
No, that was me, Alan.
Okay.
Is the IHSA ever going to adopt
No.
with R2 and R3 putting U3 in a D position and U1 in a deep B
So
with less than 2 outs?
there's been this. So these mechanics have not really been updated in a long time. Last summer, last summer at the officials conference, there was a bunch of clinicians just happened to be in the same session, talking about that we needed to meet to update the mechanics. It's widely known that we need to. There just hasn't been an avenue to do it. You'll get more information on this, I'm assuming, since you are becoming a clinician this summer, or you became a clinician last summer, right?
Yeah.
So there's a recertification process for clinicians next September, and I'm not sure all that entails, but I think that might be a spot where some of the stuff gets updated. I think the last time it was updated was like 2011, maybe something like that, when it got to this. But there's not a lot of clamoring. We don't have, secret clinician meetings or anything. Like I haven't been to a clinician meeting since I've been a clinician, and I've been a clinician for 10 plus years, I think now. I'm not even sure how long. So, we've not updated any mechanics in a long, long time. So I think there is clamor there to make updates to them and make it better. But there has not been enough momentum to make it happen. So there's not regular discussions on these.
It just seems to me on that specific scenario, you're introducing another slide, or in that runner configuration, let's call it that. You're introducing another scenario where U1 may now have to slide in. Whereas if he was already in a deep B position, nobody's got to move anywhere on fly balls or clean. Well, U3 got to go out if it's in his coverage area, but
Yep.
it just seems that would be so much cleaner.
It would. And so the whole mantra behind I just say mechanic, 2-man or 3-man for baseball is to make it simpler. And I think they made a mistake and made it more complicated by doing that. So gotta live with what you got. Like that's they want you to go by the book. So even though it's kind of flawed. So we're stuck with it there. I'm hoping it will change. Maybe it'll change eventually. I'm not sure. There hasn't been a push by anybody that has any say in the process for it to change. So
Thanks.
yep. Just like the Navy shirts, like those are something that should have died 20 years ago, and we're still hanging on. So all right, so rundowns. We talked about this a little bit. You had a question earlier, but with 3-man, hopefully I'm not saying this wrong, but with 3-man, there's never a time where the plate umpire gets involved in a rundown between two bases, right? He'll be involved in a rundown between third and home, but any rundown between first and second or second and third, the two base umpires cover all those rundowns. So here, U3, like there's a rundown between second and third. U3 is taking, splitting the line, taking any play that's coming into third. U1 is taking play that's going into second. And then same thing over here. U3 is run down between first and second. U3 is taking any play between the midway point into second base, and for U1's taking it from the midway point back into first. So the plate umpire never gets involved. I won a bet with Bert Person on this 1 year because he told me I did it wrong, and I told him he was full of shit, and I won the bet. So he had to buy the first round. So so here's the one time the plate umpire would cover because it's the rundown between second and third. If this does happen, they want U1 to kind of, if there's two runners, kind of the two runners towards second base, or even the rundown between second and third, U1 kind of goes in the middle just to help out. Just don't get stuck. They just don't want you stuck over here. Okay. This play, I think, yeah. So there's two runners on third base. They want U1 to go up, but I'm not sure why they threw that in there. Foul pop-ups. This does come into play. They want you to, so anything behind home plate, the plate umpire has anything between the plate umpire and first base umpire, you are it's the same as 2-man mechanics, right? So you're kind of splitting it. If it's going away, you have to, like in this one, the first baseman is kind of going away from home plates, and he's catching on the side of the first base umpire. That's his call because he's got a better look at it. Opposite, if the fielder's catching it towards the plate umpire, same thing down here. Just you're kind of boxing it in on those fly balls. Anything that gets to the base umpires and farther is the base umpires when they're on the line. So this part can be confusing because it has changed. But it is back to, not even sure if it's in this PowerPoint the right way, but the last time I went down to state finals, it has gone back to check swings go to the umpire on the open side. So if you have a left-handed batter, you're going to go to U3 for the check swing, appeal on a check swing. If you have a right-handed batter, you're going to U1 the peel on a check swing, no matter where they're at on the field. Right. So if U3 is in the middle, I don't know if it's going to show it or not. Yeah. So if it's so we're not, so this is old. So you go to the open side no matter what. Go. The history on this, the NCAA for 1 year, 10, 12 years ago, switched their check swing mechanic to always go to the guy on the line, right? So in this situation, left-handed batter and U3 is inside, they wanted you to go to the first base umpire for the check swing. Okay. The NCAA went to that for 1 year, realized it didn't work, and switched back. Right. The IHSA actually made a change and changed to it the same year NCAA did, and then never changed it back. That's when they stopped changing mechanics. So this one's not in the PowerPoint, but this is what we were directed to do when I worked the state finals. So, and that came from the head clinician from the IHSA. So we're going to ignore this PowerPoint. So go any check swing, you go to the open side. So left-handed batter, you go to U3, right-handed batter, you go to U1. Okay, just how you would think it would be. The guy that has the better should have the better look at it. Okay. So we've talked about this, the legal slide. You just have a better look at the force play slide rule. You know, they're just telling you to make sure you look at it.
Hi, Shannon.
Yeah. So that is it.
Alan, one question.
Sure.
We covered the slide play in a couple of scenarios there on fly balls, whether they were caught or not versus rotations. But
Yeah.
what about signaling the slide? Is that true with our typical double tag signal, first and second, first, second, third type thing, or are there other times we slide before the play in terms of the signal of it?
So the slide is just, so I've seen either like where we're looking at each other and we're just making a signal like this, right? Or there's the take your open hand and slide and put it behind your back, or like you're covering my ass is kind of what, you know, kind of the signal is between them. But if you have a slide situation, you're making one of those two signals with the two base umpires are making that signal back and forth with each other.
Yeah.
If there's a first and second, you know, less than 2 outs, you want to do is still do the regular, you know, tag, the double tag, like, you know, the regular rotation first, and then that goes between all the umpires, and then you do the slide signal with the two base guys.
Got it.
That makes sense. The slide doesn't matter for the plate guy because he's not involved in it. So that signal only goes between the base guys.
But first and second, or bases loaded, less than 2 outs, right?
Yes, or some of those other convoluted runner on second only, fly ball in left field, those situations.
Okay.
There's a good cheat sheets in on the HSA website it goes over all those situations that'll help you kind of walk you through your pregame. I'm pretty sure it's still there. I haven't seen it. I haven't looking for it. But it was there. It's like a one pager, maybe a front and back that goes through the different coverage points in the mechanics. It's a pretty good resource that I would print it out and take it with and do your pregame with it.
Yeah, the one I have is like 2010. I assume that's still the one they have out there.
Yeah, that's the most up to date version. So,
Thank you.
Yep. All right, that is all. So, just any questions you have, any situations like with this, it's just make sure you don't just skim over this stuff, and make sure you understand, because you were put in a situation where we haven't worked 3-man or much 3-man at all throughout the year. Then the playoffs are the games that are most important, right, to a season. We're now thrown into it. Take your time. Don't get flustered on things, right? And then really where the mechanics break down is when you don't take your time to think about it, or you don't read the situation, or you read the situation wrong, and now you're moving in the wrong direction, right? So take your time reading fly balls. I say the worst scenario that can happen in 3-man is you have 2 umpires in the outfield, because now it's, you're down to 1 man. Or the other spot that I've seen it where it's bad is you don't force the rotations. I had one, section I worked years ago where the plate umpire went halfway up and came back, and now there's 2 of us at home plate on a bang bang play at the plate, right? So having 2 umpires in this is scary. Like, it's not a good situation either. I just turned my back and let him take it, but even though he shouldn't have been there, I was the first base umpire and he shouldn't have been there. But so force the rotations and read fly balls when there's 2 guys on the line, so you don't have 2 guys out in the outfield. And you have the ability with this too, is to you have more of an opportunity where the 2 base umpires can communicate in the outfield, right, between innings, and talk through things and make sure you're in the right spot. If you're unsure about something, talk it through with your partners and make sure that you're doing what's right, and make sure you're reviewing it, so you're in the right you're in the right place when you're supposed to be. When you have 3 umpires in a crew, if you have a situation where you need to get together and talk about a play, and even if it's a situation where it's a pull foot swipe tag thing at first base, right? Still get together with all 3 umpires to talk about it, right? Never have a discussion with 2 of the 3 umpires in your crew. Always bring all 3 together. And I will also, this is it's been a contentious point, and so
Al, you got a couple questions.
yep, they can wait a second. If there's a pull for the swipe tag, do not the mechanic where you ask your partner if they had the bag or have a tag before you make a call is dead. Do not do that anymore. Make a call as a base umpire. If you're unsure, make a call. You got a 50% chance to get it right. If they appeal, get together your partners and then overturn it if you need to. We've had some older umpires come in and advocate for that in the past. It is not a mechanic you should use anymore. It just goes wrong. It happened again to me this year where my partner did that. After hesitating, and it turned into a cluster, turned into a circus. That mechanic is dead. Do not do that. Do not let your partner that you work with talk you into doing it. Make your call. If they appeal, then do that. All right, questions. That goes for 2-man too. Don't do it there either.
Now, Alan, you know that that's not the correct mechanic.
It is the correct mechanic. Not if you're 100 years old, but it is the correct mechanic. Thank you, Jeff,
Yeah.
for putting the point of emphasis in the chat. That is the document I've been talking about. So, John, go ahead.
I was just looking through the IHSA website. I don't see where they have the any of the slides or anything for the 3-man mechanics. Can you point where that is?
Jeff Winforth actually linked it in the chat.
Oh, he did.
Here, I'll see if I can.
You can download that, save it, open it up. It's about a page and a half long.
There it is. I see it in the chat.
All right. So it is here.
Yeah, perfect.
It is Officials Education Center. Choose your activity, baseball. And those are the documents. It
Great
is,
job, Linforth. Great job.
so that's all the information there. Nope, I never even shared. Can't even see it. So once you're logged in, Officials Education Center, baseball,
Okay.
all the documents are there.
Okay. I didn't see it. Thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? While we're all here too, everybody take a second to congratulate Mr. Harms on his first trip